Build Your Business listeners. This is Matt Reynolds, your host for the podcast, and you are listening to what we are calling the legacy episodes. And really, these are the pre-episodes that really led to this podcast, the Build Your Business podcast. This is really my life's work and my brother's life's work in building your business. And so they were originally published in the Barbell Logic podcast as part of the Principles or Coaching Success series, but really touch on similar topics to the Build Your Business podcast: how to improve your productivity, how to set and accomplish your goals, deprioritize urgent tasks, to focus on what is most important to you, and most importantly, to become a better person and leader and business owner overall. I'm proud to bring you these podcasts. Again, many years of life's work, several years of podcasts, and several decades of business ownership. Hope you enjoy them and learn from them. You're listening to Barbell Logic,
the podcast where we talk about what it means to experience strength
and how you can use simple, hard, and effective strategies in training and nutrition to improve your life.
It starts with meeting you where you are right now and finding lasting solutions.
Welcome to the show. You're listening to the Barbell Logic podcast. I'm your host, Matt Reynolds. This is another episode from the Coaching Success series. I don't know, man. I've been negative a little bit lately, but here we go. Stop being cheap bastards. Coaches are so cheap. I don't understand it. They do not understand the value of their time, right? The value of your time matters. And I'll get out of the negative here for a little bit. I learned early on, by the way, this is sort of a boomer mentality, right? So my parents are boomers. My dad would work on the car, change the oil, mow the lawn. We've talked about all these things in a previous podcast that these things that are urgent and unimportant, we delegate or hire out. It's really important because we have to understand the value of our time. So as you become more professional in this business or in any business, your time is worth more per hour. So maybe you're worth $100 an hour, or, if you run a big company, maybe you're worth $400 or $500 per hour. So you shouldn't be doing things that you could hire out for, say, under $20 an hour. We have a housekeeper. We have kids that are both teenagers. They work for us. They put gas in our cars. They wash the cars. They go get the groceries. They get the bread and the butter and the milk. And we have people that work for us that do, basically low skill labor at the house because we understand the value of our time. So I have spent all morning emailing investors for the business. And these are things that it needs to be personalized emails. These are not, we didn't send out, mass emails on HubSpot or whatnot. Like I actually needed to reach out. It had to be from me, right? Or if I travel to an Air Force base and work with the Air Force, like that's the thing that I need to do. Or if I need to go on the podcast tour and talk about TurnKey Coach or Barbell Logic or whatever, those are things I have to do. And so I don't have to do the menial tasks every day. And some of you have grasped onto that. And yet you haven't been able to make the transition of what that means for your coaching business, right? So I'm constantly aware of or made aware of something like TurnKey Coach or even any of our competitors' products. You're talking about, for something like TurnKey Coach, we have maximized the efficiency of our online coaching platform, not just software, but the entire platform. For the top level right now of service, it's $5 a client, $5. And you can also get it for like $3 a client, or, it's cheap. So $2, $3, $4 a client for any of these software programming sort of platforms. But for $5 a client, you can maximize your efficiency. And so the question is, what is it worth at $5 a client to improve your efficiency 100% or 200% or 500%, which is what it does, right? So you've heard me tell the stories before. Back when I used the third-party software, I had 10 or 11 clients. I was working about an hour a day. Now I have 40 clients and I work about an hour a day. Well, what's that worth to you, right? So if I were a 1099 coach, a contractor coach, at Barbell Logic, I would make about $100,000 a year, $96,000, somewhere in there, working 1 hour a day. And so I'm amazed at when we start to price these products out. This isn't just about TurnKey Coach, but just in general, the number of coaches are like, oh, it's $1 cheaper per client or $2 cheaper per client at this third-party software. Like, what are you talking about? You have no value for your time? Is your time worth nothing? We have literally maximized the efficiency piece so that you can make $300 plus per hour for $5 per client to improve your efficiency, right? Like, why would I go mow my lawn for 2 hours if I can pay a lawn care service $30 to mow the lawn? Like, it's $15 an hour for my work. Well, my work is worth, not only is my work worth more than $15 an hour, my teenagers, certainly my 18-year-old is worth more than $15 an hour. So you have to make this paradigm shift where you understand the value of your time and stop being cheap. And I've noticed that the strength coaching industry is full of cheap bastards. You guys are just cheap. And I'm sorry, I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. That's not the point. But it's to understand your level of effectiveness and efficiency. Like, you should be doing the things that make you money, not the things that rob you of that. And here's the thing. Time is the one truly finite resource we all have. We can't really buy back our time. As a matter of fact, there's a book, Dan Martell wrote it. He's kind of an influencer marketing guy. He's actually pretty good. But he wrote a book called Buy Back Your Time. But it's not really about buying back your time from the past, because you can't. It's the understanding that truly wealthy people understand the value of their time, and they'll do anything to buy back that time so that they can free up their schedule. Like, there's nothing that's more valuable than that. Truly wealthy people understand the value of their time and will do anything to buy that back. So it's not about spending money on $1 million houses or $100,000 cars or things, right? It's buying back your time. It's hiring people to cook your food. It's hiring housekeepers. It's hiring people to mow the lawn. It's the relatively unskilled labor. They understand that. Not new rich, not new money. They don't quite understand it necessarily, but truly wealthy people understand the value of their time, and they'll do anything to buy that back. So for $3 a client or $5 a client or $10 a client, if that improves your efficiency by 100%, this should be a no-brainer. If this is a slam dunk offer for TurnKey Coach or for any other software platform that, not necessarily programming, but I use this stuff all the time in my business that saves me time. That's the point. It saves you time, right? And so my time is worth everything. Like, you take somebody like Warren Buffett, who I think is 90 years old, close to 90 years old. How much would Warren Buffett pay to be 30 years old again? And the answer is all of it. Every dollar he has, every cent he has, he would be broke tomorrow if he could be 30 again. And you can't go back and rebuy that time. That's the finite resource, right? And so what we want to do is we want to recognize the value of our time. And we want to maximize the efficiency of that time. We've done tons of podcasts about Pomodoros and working efficiently and getting rid of the things that are not urgent and not important, and delegating and hiring out the things that are urgent but are not important, so that you can focus on the things that are both urgent and important and not urgent and the most important. Like, these are the things that matter. And so, as you guys know, I'm the CEO of the company. The most important work I do is the CEO work, stuff that only the CEO or the founder or the owner can do. And so online coaching, while it is important, it's also urgent. I want to be able to do that as efficiently as possible. So I do my online coaching early in the morning, very efficiently, with no distractions, with my phone not going off, my notifications on my computer, my phone completely turned off while my family still sleeps, so that I knock that stuff out quickly. I do the same thing with emails. I do the same thing with Basecamp notifications, like all those sort of urgent things we want to do efficiently. And if someone can help me buy back my time so I can pay some fee to gain time, what is that worth? Well, it's worth what you're worth per hour. So if I can gain an hour, and let's say I'm $200 per hour, I'll pay $200 for that. But if I can gain 20 hours, right, I would pay $4,000 for that, because it buys back 20 hours of my time. So this is something that engineering and manufacturing, lean manufacturing, they've understood this. They've internalized this. But for some reason, the private coaching industry hasn't. And so we will pitch something like TurnKey Coach and people will start to compare like, well, it's $1 more per client. Well, who cares? If it's significantly more efficient than all the other platforms on the market, we should be able to charge $100 a client, $50 a client, $75 a client. Like that doesn't matter, because if I make $100,000 a year and I can do that on an hour of day of work, why would I choose to make $100,000 a year on 8 hours a day of work? That makes no sense. An 8x amount of time. I want to choose the lowest amount of time, right? I'm looking at the unit economics of time, which is the most important thing that we do as coaches. The most important thing. The combination is unit economics of my time. How much money am I making, or how effective am I in my coaching per minute or per hour? And with a combination of, I've already started to lead into this, of effectiveness of your coaching. Are you helping your clients get what they actually are paying for? Are you doing the things you say you're going to do? And then can you improve that per unit of time? This is the most important metric to the coach, right? We talked last episode about, from a financial standpoint, monthly recurring revenue is the North Star metric for revenue as a coach from the clients. But it's your personal life at a foundational level. It's unit economics of a metric of time, a unit of time. How much work can I get done in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, an hour? How much work can I get done in an hour? Well, if I'm coaching in person, I can coach one person in an hour. But if I'm coaching online and I do it well, and I give them great feedback, and I actually interact with them on a personal level, and I ask them about their family and their job, and I talk through programming, and I give them an overview of why we're doing what we're doing and where the programming is going from here, and I can do all that sort of stuff, and I can coach 25 or 30 clients in an hour, I've just 25 or 30x'd my efficiency per hour. And so I am pleading with you, coaches in the private sector, to get out of your head about what something costs and start to do the math about your effectiveness or your efficiency or your how much money you're making per hour. And so you can actually go on turnkey.coach and you can click on the calculator and you can calculate, here's how much I'm making per hour now. And if I transition into online coaching using TurnKey Coach, here's how much money per hour I can make using TurnKey Coach. And what you'll see is that you're making $35 per hour, $50 per hour. And that's, even the calculator doesn't calculate in things like commute or the shower, getting dressed, put on the polo, spraying the cologne, putting on the deodorant, all those things. It doesn't calculate those things. It literally just says, well, here's what you're charging your clients per hour. Here's what you're making per hour. It doesn't calculate the downtime of the hours that you're sitting at the gym, right? I mean, it does on some level. If you actually put in, here's how many hours I'm at the gym every week, here's how many clients I coach, and here's how much I charge. And then you'll see that with the platform like TurnKey Coach, you can literally make 3x, 5x, 7x amount per hour. And so what the platform costs, and by the way, it's not just about TurnKey Coach, anywhere that you can buy back time is the best opportunity that you have to spend your dollars. I'm not going to spend my dollars on $100,000 cars or $1 million homes or toys or whatever that thing is. I'm going to buy back my time. I'm going to hire people to do the unskilled labor or the low skill labor around my home, to go put gas in my car, to wash the car, to get the groceries, to do the housekeeping, to mow the lawn, to do the stuff. And I'm also going to maximize that in my coaching business, so that I'm actually doing the things I need to do on a daily basis in the shortest unit economic of time. So, short episode today. Stop being cheap. Stop being cheap bastards. You don't even have to go with TurnKey Coach. Do the math. Figure it out. Figure out what's best for you. Figure out what makes you the most money per hour while providing the best service to your clients. And whatever that is worth anything they charge, whether that's TurnKey Coach or whether that's Audible to listen to books or whatever the thing is, to be able to buy back your time. This is incredibly important. It's something that must be understood by the coaching community, and they don't get it yet. And when you get it, you will be light years ahead of all the other coaches in the industry because they don't get it. They'll work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours a day. The way they scale their business is to work more hours. It doesn't have to work that way. You can scale your business by being more efficient. And that's literally what TurnKey Coach was designed to do. So there you go. There's another episode of the Barbell Logic Podcast Coaching Success Series. If you've received value from this, I'd love a 5-star review. We'd love a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can make the change, right? It takes a paradigm shift. And you literally have to begin to look at things a little bit different. It's worth it. It's worth it to spend the money to buy back the time. Because the time for the important, the things that are not urgent, the time with your family, the disciplines, the spiritual disciplines, the health disciplines, the training correctly, the focusing on your own health. What would you do to be able to have those things? Well, the answer is would you spend $1 more or $2 more per client? You should. It should be a no-brainer. It should be a slam dunk. All right. We'll see you next week.